Hello, everyone. Hello, players. Welcome back to another D&D prod. Jesus Christ! Welcome back to another D&D podcast here on the Wolfpack Productions Twitch channel. As I'm sure you're noticing, we have a different overlay this time, and we have different players. Where John is not here, and instead we have Rosa, and we have Josh and Deon and Ashton. And yeah, that means we're back with the fucking Greek campaign that we kicked all this bullshit off with. And by God, are we excited to be back. So, I believe players, unless anyone has any kind words they wish to say, we can jump right into where we left off. Understandable, Deon.
The word I would describe.
Josh, Rosa, anything from you guys, or are we jumping right in?
Let's do it.
Let's jump.
Let go. All right. Vamos. All right. So, last we left off, the many months, actually not even that many months ago, like 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago at most, when we last left off, our players had successfully stormed the bottom beachhead had stormed the, what's the gun emplacement? Is that the
artillery encampment?
Thank you, Deon. Our players have stormed the artillery encampment and are now waiting orders. Or not waiting orders, they are waiting for the arrival of the main troops. Our team sustained heavy casualties in terms of the Reborn. I will admit to this on camera, I did not rewatch the last podcast, so I forgot how many soldiers they lost.
Oh yeah, we lost a lot. I think one of us almost died. Inquiry had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, it was a third of one of us almost died.
Oh yeah, that's how that
worked. Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
Those mines were a bitch. You guys really should have just been teleporting all over the place. Very effective at avoiding enemy mines.
Indeed they are. Indeed it is, Deon.
Also,
indeed
teleporting above people is a very effective way to fight.
Yes. Alrighty. Well, on that note, players, we will rewind the clock just about, we're going to say maybe about 15 minutes right after Deon received I believe Deon received the final kill by turning the artillery cannon and blasting the barricade away with it.
Maybe.
And
I don't remember that, but sure.
All right, cool.
Deon did it. I think Inquiry did it.
Yes, Inquiry did. Alright, well we're gonna jump all the way back.
Makes sense. I would have been the one doing it because I was like 40 feet ahead of everybody else.
Yes, you also were on the artillery cannon. So we're gonna rewind. Our players have just killed the final person on the final little barricade. There are about 3, maybe 4. There are about 4 total Reborn soldiers left. The rest have either been shot, blown up, or generally killed. If we remember correctly, if I do remember this, one of the aerial units is missing her legs, and Penelope looks pretty heavily wounded. So, players, we will kick off right from there. You just blew up you killed the last soldier. All the followers of Mogis are now dead. The smoke has settled. Cannons are destroyed. You've successfully taken the artillery encampment, but at the cost of 75% of the soldiers that came with you.
All right, Adrie, you've successfully murdered several people. Now it's time to unmurder several people. Start with that one, and I point at Penelope.
Damn it! Okay.
Penelope.
Vegetables before dessert, or I guess in this case, dessert before vegetables. Either way.
Am I allowed to murder them after?
No.
What is
But you're allowed to murder those assholes, and I'm going to point further up the field to the sizable force that awaits beyond us.
Yeah, so where the encampment is you guys are like at the bottom, and remember there's just a giant staircase going up into the clouds above you.
You get to murder those assholes.
We have a hell of a workout ahead of us.
I can carry most of you.
Bloodstorm.
So I'm gonna watch Adrie to see if she tries to heal or if she tries to murder our allies.
Yes. Rosa, may I also suggest that you keep the chat open as well? You should watch the stream as well, because Josh is saying that you are allowed to murder anyone.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Josh, I will
Different Josh.
jail her ass.
No, this is a different Josh.
Other Josh.
I do believe someone is impersonating me.
I have two friends named Josh. One is here, the other is the one we're visiting this weekend.
I refuse to believe anyone else figured out that you're Joe Jax. Fuck off.
The better Josh.
Okay.
It's crazy.
How dare!
I will
Starting a
help
war with chat
this
already.
time. I will keep. I'll keep him alive. I'll bring him back.
So
I am very proud of you, Adrie.
Well
done.
So inquiry, if I remember,
As long as I get to murder.
Okay.
You'll get to murder so many cultist bastards.
Yes.
So inquiry, there are two of the... God, I just want to call them by their proper names now that I know them. There are two of the red-helmeted Reborn soldiers still standing. The other three were either blown to bits or completely, or were shot and killed by mass fire. The two remaining kind of walk up to you after you've given Adrie her orders, which in terms of the flying units, there are about three of them left. So you have a grand total of 5 Reborn soldiers left, 2 from the red helmeted extermination unit, and 3 purple helmeted jet-packed soldiers from the aerial unit.
Yeah, Penelope was the only one that we got a name for and give a shit about, right?
Yes, the others are unnamed soldiers.
All right, fuck them.
But two of the red helmeted soldiers approach you. They kind of look at each other. They nod their heads. They turn to you, and one of them says, "I must applaud your commendation and your tenacity for manning that cannon. However, did you know the firing sequence for it?"
I just built it in my brass, machine to machine.
Respectful.
I don't know. Do you just
Truly.
kind of feel the way to ride a horse correctly?
The last
Truly intriguing.
the last time I sat on a horse, Artemis was not very happy when it became a pancake. But I understand what you are saying.
I've never ridden a horse either. I'm also too heavy for them. I don't know how flesh people work.
How many of these artillery emplacements are undamaged enough to remain functional?
That
none
is
of
a
them.
great point. We should just start firing on the enemy.
No, all the emplacements were destroyed.
Even the one I shot?
Yeah, because remember, yes, the one you shot, they shot the wheel of it, so you couldn't crank it back anymore. It became stationary.
So how the hell did I aim it at another enemy?
No, okay, I'm remembering the final session now. So there was a rotational crank that you did to turn it and point it at them, and then they shot the cannon to try and destroy it, but they didn't roll high enough, so instead they hit the crank, and you couldn't rotate it. It became a fixed position cannon.
Okay, so they damaged the track that allows it to change bore to aim back. So it can no longer change position, but it can still fire.
If I recall correctly, I believe everything was destroyed though, because they
How did I fire?
no. So yours was destroyed when you after it got stopped.
Then how
Reborn.
did I fire?
I might be remembering. Okay, so okay.
None of us remember, so just
Yeah.
confidently make something up, Evan.
All right,
But,
yeah, you have one working one, but you can't rotate it. It is stuck in that position of pointing towards the barricade. That is blown
Well,
to bits.
the two of you look like you're very strong. Do you want to help me try to shove this thing into a better direction to fire up at the enemy?
Have either of you a stone of sending? We should report back to our greater forces that we have control of the base of this
I'm
temple.
pretty sure we sent up a flare once we
Yeah,
achieved our goal.
yeah, you
As
fired
they're
a flare up.
actively advancing right now towards us.
Mhm.
Now that we've opened a corridor that's free of artillery fire.
I do not have a stone of sending, but the guy, one of the extermination soldiers kind of takes his helmet off, and he's like, I do not have a stone of sending, but you will be able to communicate with Lady Athena through this. And he just kind of like puts the helmet on you, Sankt. And he just kind of
So,
like
do you speak High Gothic?
he just touches
Surely.
shut up, Deon. He just touches the side of it. And inside the helmet, Sankt, you hear a little like bloop, like you hear kind of like when Bluetooth connects to your phone, you hear that, that like doing, you hear this
Bluetooth device
Yeah,
is ready to connect.
Bluetooth connected.
Next thing you know, you hear the Skype is calling noise just kick in.
Oh god, that I just
With
had
the homie.
Do, do, do.
Oh, you said that, Ashton, and I think I visibly shook on camera. I
No.
had like PTSD flashbacks to high school Arma 2 Day Z, the Skype call going off in the middle of a fucking raid.
That's amazing.
And it crashes your game, but okay, back on track. Thanks for the
Lady
PTSD,
Athena.
Ashton.
This is Sankt of the front lines. We have taken the base of the temple. We have a very weak hold on the base of the temple. I repeat, a weak hold. All of the arm battery emplacements are damaged beyond belief, and we will not be able to hold this position from an attack on either side very well. We need backup.
Oh, glad to
Also, tell her that there are mines everywhere.
Expect heavy resistance in the form of landmines and potential interceptors.
you hear the sounds of like
Thank you, inquiry.
you hear gunshots and you hear screaming and fighting from the other side as she very quickly and heavy breath because
What the hell
she's
are they fighting? We cleared a straight line for them to come
So,
up the path.
there are
This
other
was a
encampments.
fainting attack.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
you guys took the main one to secure the main path. Everyone out, the other forces are attacking the other ones that are surrounding the rest of the bottom of the temple.
To distract from this location. Fair enough.
Exactly.
I
Yep.
do remember such
Mhm.
things.
Yep, that's fair.
Just barely, though.
Sankt, thank you for. Glad to know you're still alive. You hear her like shove her spear into someone, and like pull the. You hear the visible. You hear all the sounds. I can't make
Can
the sound
anyone
effects.
Wilhelm scream?
No.
Oh man, I almost did the R2D2. That's not it.
That is the Wilhelm scream, but in a different pitch.
It is.
Is that really?
Yes.
Damn, I didn't know that.
So you hear her like you
Yes,
hear the
it's pitched
spear.
way up.
Yeah, you hear the spear enter a body, get yanked out. She says, he says, how many of you are, she's like, how many of you are still standing? You hear something hit her shield and she just, like, stabs another soldier.
My party and 2 of your Reborn stand. We're attempting to resurrect a 3rd Reborn.
She's like, which unit? Just 2?
2 exterminators and 2 of the flying boys whose names I don't remember. Also,
We have
Penelope's
4?
alive but very hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
one of the other flying boys is alive but missing their legs. Says
I mean, you don't need
Deon.
legs to fly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We're gonna be finishing up over here. This is the last stage. This is the last standing ground that we have to take. Reinforcements should be arriving at your position within 10 minutes. Hold your ground, take up positions, and just whatever you do, watch those stairs. If anything comes down, I give you permission to shoot.
So that comes back to my point, Evan. You're allowed to tell me no, but I want to know if me and these beefy-ass Reborn can just physically drag the cannon into bore to fire up at the staircase.
You can most certainly try.
Okay, I'm
So-
going to burn another rage, or am I still raging from the fight?
The fight's been over for about... I'm gonna be nice and I'm gonna let you keep your rage.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna roll for
Okay,
the other 2.
Alright, so I have advantage on this athletics check. I hope it's an
Oh,
athletics
God.
check.
Yes, it will be athletics check.
18.
Okay. So I rolled for the Reborn, I rolled a natural 1 and I rolled a 12. So one of them, as he tries to, so you and one of the exterminators get on the back and, try to push it and manually,
Wait, are they not giving the help action to each other?
No, because they're each performing their own action. So would that constitute help?
No. The way the help action works is, so the best way to have done this, which you're totally allowed to say we didn't do because I didn't say it, is for me to roll at advantage because I'm raging, and for each of them to roll at advantage because, like, Sankt and one of the triple S's gives them the help action. But I didn't suggest it, so you're fully within your rights to say that's not what happened and let this asshole break his neck out of sheer incompetence.
Yeah, well, also the triple S's are on the other side of the battlefield.
Through my scope, can I see the temple at the top of the steps?
You cannot. You just see mist.
Alright, I'm gonna keep an eye on that mist.
By the way, are you still positioned on top of the downed APC?
I believe we all moved on the last cannon when close to the end of combat.
I mean,
yeah,
at the
'cause you
very
couldn't shoot
least,
anyone.
that dude just gave him his helmet, so he has to
Because
be
I'm pretty
next
sure
to
the
that guy.
APC exploded.
Yeah, that shit went boom.
Yeah. I don't think I am.
But yeah. Oh, sorry. Finish, Sankt.
Sorry, holding that, I do have something in my inventory that may be of assistance. I have 3 bites of ambrosia, which, if I remember properly, are healing.
Yes.
Is it possible to give this man back his legs by, like,
No.
rudimentarily putting them in place and ambrosiaing them?
No. So
glue them back on.
So the ambrosia,
like a minifigure?
the ambrosia will heal your fatigue, your health, all your spell slots. It will give you the effects of a long rest. However, if your fucking legs are missing, not enough sleep is gonna let your legs regrow.
Yeah,
Maybe he's a
regrettably,
lizard
that's a
person.
6th level spell.
Yeah, the
can
lizard
he
guys
sew
agree
them
with
on?
me.
As much. You know what?
All right, I'll give it to you.
No, you know what? The other Josh has.
Sorry.
All right, all right, you can make a medicine check to try and reattach the legs.
Bro, hell yeah.
In such a way. In such a way
Away with this.
that if she takes a bite of the ambrosia, it will just heal itself back together.
I help.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm like, Adrie, you better fucking help with this.
Hold on. We got this. I'm
Wizards,
a
help
whiz
us
at
punch the
medicine.
cannon.
Oh, cannon
Oh my
party.
gosh, it's at the way
Um,
bottom.
as
That's a 19.
Hell yeah.
Yo, boy, slap these legs right back on.
so,
hell?
we're gonna get to that in a second. Cannon boys. I realize I have like 2 cameras. I've got one here and one here. So, cannon guys. Inquiry, you get behind it. One of the other exterminators gets on the other side. And one kind of gets in the front, right, to kind of like pull and drag it so you can, point it directly up the staircase. The one of the sides, as he's going to push, applies just a little bit, doesn't exactly put his hands in the best of spots, and you hear a crack, you hear a bolt fly off, and all of a sudden the cannon goes from being like this, I'm from like this, to now it's on its side. It just completely detached from one of the hinges holding it up. And you just hear this guy just say, fuck.
By the gods. Okay. Gentlemen, and I address the triple S's. Can you use your eyes to help coordinate this? We're gonna try to carry this bitch just
God.
into a position that it can be useful.
You know what? Sure. We'll give it a shot. Where do you need us?
All
right.
Ready, lads.
Well, let's finish just cannon, and then we're gonna go back to the Josh just like Lego just attaching the legs back. Fucking A. Oh, alright, chat saved you on this one.
I'm still rolling at advantage because I'm raging.
I also will let you
Clearly, I'm even angrier now.
Yup. That's why I was gonna say, I'm like, either way, I'm giving you advantage because you should be pissed.
Crazy work.
Indeed. All right. So they're gonna step back and they're like, "We'll let you handle this. We're gonna go deal with our fallen. We're gonna go gather our fallen brethren."
Wait, I'm lifting a cannon by myself. Okay.
You're the product of Hephaestus. Just channel that in a robotic strength.
Woo!
As opposed to like.
What'd you
healing
get? Is that a nat
qualities
20?
of,
That's a nat 20. Also
Yeah.
a 12.
Hell
but
yeah.
You like feel when they say that. You feel like a fire light up inside of where your heart would be. And you just like bend down, your armor shifts and moves so that you can like grab this thing and you just like lift it up like it's nothing.
I like that, but if I may suggest a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I have the teleportation rage. So if I might suggest something different,
Please
still
do.
the same thing, a fire and like a visible, like molten glowing kind of works throughout the vein work and such of my mechanics. Like basically my entire hydraulic system is now glowing bright orange because it's filled with lava right now. Or more likely molten metal.
Yeah.
And rather than just lifting it out of sheer strength, I'm basically rapid teleporting to effectively become a team that's lifting this
Okay.
and just putting it into place. Well, I had no idea that I could do that, and I suspect I will never be able to do that again on command. Either way, I really hope this cannon will still fire. And then I'm going to sit there and wait for the time that I need to fire this damn cannon.
So
Sankt, you're watching the staircase, right? Oh wow, her legs are back on.
and now we're back to the leg party. All right. So Sankt, you walk over there, and you're like, hold my, hold my bow, and you take the legs that somehow are still in one piece.
Hey, Reborn, which one's the left and which one's the right leg? Why are they symmetrical?
Hell,
Which one?
just stick them on the leg, and I'm sure it'll fix itself out.
That
Yeah,
sounds like how
okay.
you get disadvantage on dexterity checks.
Yeah, your ass is taking the blame for this when she wakes up wondering why she's more pigeon-toed than before. Alright.
Fine. Hold on. Penelope takes each of the legs. Penelope takes one leg, then, taps something on the side of her helmet, stares at the foot. She's like, this is right. Takes the other one, stares at it. This is left. And she taps it again.
It shouldn't be that hard to tell a left shoe from a right shoe, man.
They're realigned.
Well, remember, it's not shoe, it's an
And
armored
Their
boot.
left and right hands up.
With the 19, I assume they're at least in about the right spot.
Yes. So Penelope pulls her helmet off. She's like, pulls the wounded soldier's helmet off. She turns to you and she says, "What's your plan now?"
Well, I figured this ambrosia stuff, in this plane in particular, has to be significantly more effective than normal. And if it's capable of offering extreme rest, maybe a single ambrosia won't do the trick, but perhaps multiple?
So you're thinking have her eat the whole thing?
It's possible.
We've never done
I'm
it
not
before.
a doctor. I'm not offering her new life. I'm just offering her a whole life.
All right, let's try it. Amastacia, open your mouth. And she just kind of the wounded soldier just opens her mouth, right? Like, Sankt, this is your show.
All right. I'm going to begin applying the ambrosia to
All
the
right.
gullet of this entity.
So you just stick the whole bar in her mouth and she just eats it.
All right, we might have to have a chat about what ambrosia is, because my dumbass thought it was like honey or something.
No, that's nectar. Traditionally, ambrosia is picture a starburst cube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
No.
Oh,
At
that's
least
it?
as far as the Percy Jackson goes.
Yeah. So you have
But,
3 of those starburst cubes next to each other. So basically imagine a Halloween tiny Snickers bar.
Okay, so the reason I was confused is because in Hades, the roguelite, ambrosia looks like whiskey. It's like a decanter of something.
Yeah, so
That's the
I think
Dionysus
Evan
special.
and I are both basing it off of Percy Jackson, where
Take a knife.
ambrosia is like these little cubes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm gonna take a knife and try and make it as easy to consume as possible by flaking it off as best I can, and then trying to basically chain feed this to her.
Penelope kind of just rolls her eyes and says, "Just give it to her full. She's capable of chewing." I think she's
I've never had my legs blown off, ma'am. I'm not sure how capable she is right now. I'm gonna make this as easy as possible because the options are she lives with legs, dies without legs, or lives without legs, and I'm just I'm not willing to risk this.
You see
I'm not a doctor, obviously.
Real quick, can one of my guys just faint from this whole set, witnessing this whole thing?
Yeah, you can you pick which one you want to just have faint at the sight of just bone sticking out of this bitch's leg.
I want staff to just look at this whole situation in pure shock and just fall backwards while Syl and Sen just look at them like, oh no.
Don't make the cleric be the one afraid of blood and guts.
What you're doing it! Traumatize the poor thing.
I'm gonna have my entrails hanging out of me, and they're gonna faint, and we're gonna be boned.
Ay.
Okay, Syl and Sen will try to slap his ass away.
Heal inquiry, even though healing magic doesn't fucking work on inquiry.
Oh.
So, yeah. So Penelope just.
What am I doing here?
So, all right. So
Apparently enacting a miracle.
yes. So the wounded soldier just basically, while you're distracted from Saf collapsing, just kind of reaches her hands up, just kind of just picks the bar up out of your hand, just chucks it into her mouth, chews it, right? And then all of a sudden you see a very faint, like you see a purple light start to originate around her legs, like where they're attaching, and it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. It blinds you. There's a bright, blinding light, right? And then all of a sudden,
She's gonna blow.
and then when you look back, right, it almost as if her armor was never destroyed. It's perfect. Her legs are back. The rest of her armor is still beaten to holy hell from where the
Can
shrapnel
anyone
hit
cast
her.
mending? Do we have mending in this party?
Saf, you're still watching the staircase. Holy shit, her legs are back.
All right, I've done everything I can do here.
The two.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you, doctor. Thank you, doctor. Just shaking hands with the
Still has mending.
You're
Still has
reborn in
mending.
front of me.
By now
Still has mending.
Still has mending.
So the exterminators
Okay.
are back from collecting the bodies, right? They've neatly laid all of the what's left of them, right? At the kind of like the back end of y'all's stronghold.
We fought through the hoplites, right? That's what these guys are? The hoplites of Mogis?
Yes.
Gotcha.
But
Yes, and please keep narrating, but I want to make so abundantly clear. Inquiry is watching up the staircase, ready to fire an artillery cannon.
Oh yes, and also you have
clear.
Yeah, and also I'm gonna say that you put it angled on a piece of rubble to point directly upwards.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
directly upward, like vertical, or just where it's supposed to
where
go?
it's supposed to go.
It's a steep staircase.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, no, it's like a normal like.
I thought I was about to shoot a shell up and drop it on me.
No. You put it on like a piece of rubble to have that angle to just fire right up the stairs.
Shell shock shit right there.
Yes, but so the Reborn have collected their bodies. Penelope is, helping her, her comrade in arms stand up, right? Everyone's, puts their helmets back on. And they turn to Penelope turns to you, Sankt, and she says, I'm certain that we should try and disarm the rest of the mines before the remaining forces get here. As she says that, you see a soldier say, hey guys, right? From behind, as you see kind of some reinforcements coming up. And he's like, guys are over here. He starts taking off. Sankt, what's your passive perception?
14.
Does anyone have higher than a 14?
Give me a second. 13.
Can I just take a shot at the young guy? And like a warning shot at his legs?
No, because by the time you're able to holster up the Eldritch rifle, there's a faint. You hear a faint click, and just red mist of where this guy was.
Evan, you aren't aware of this, but Discord clipped your boom noise. So
You're crispy, yeah. Just the sound.
Yeah, you just said you hear a.
Oh shit!
Okay, so Inquisitor is just like vigilantly watching.
Oh god, I am.
Here's Boom's like, oh fuck.
Well,
And then you hear Penelope scream at the top of her lungs. She's like, "Don't move!" Of course, one guy doesn't hear, trips. So you see this so there are about maybe 15, Athenian soldiers, right? Who look like they have seen some shit. Like they are, they're bleeding, right? They don't look the best, but they are reinforcements nonetheless.
how big is the area that
The landmines
big
are?
is the minefield? Yeah.
Babe, I'm gonna need my other notebook. Should be the D&D notebook, Book of Holding. It should be on my side of the office.
All I know is they're fucked. Because
The-
Evan pretends there was a pattern to these landmines. They are random and they are bullshit.
No, there actually is a pattern.
Sure.
There is. It's
Keep
in the
lying
notebook.
to us.
The conspiracy.
The conspiracy. All right. So, so Penelope's like. So then Penelope turns to y'all, and she says, "We need to disarm those now."
All right. Well,
She points. We
I
can
have a plan.
please, Sankt, do tell.
Entangle is a grasping spell that's cast in a 20-foot square.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I can just create a path of entangles and dispel them along to the base of the stairs, 20 foot wide should be as wide as an APC to at least survive the trek.
That is actually a fantastic plan.
Yeah.
And I don't use my spell slots here for anything else other than like Hunter's Mark.
Put a pin in this real quick. I gotta go find the notebook.
Okay.
Gotcha. Do you have something, Inquiry, that could...
So that's a better plan than mine. My other plan was to ask Evan how big the artillery shells are, and then depending on his answer, just fucking chuck one. And try to trigger all of the mines that way.
Deon,
You know
what
what?
if they're the size of one of my boys?
Okay.
Then I can definitely throw them.
Ah, wonderful. Don't throw one of my guys, though. I'd be very upset.
All right. So
Wait,
Sankt,
doesn't one of you have some large AoE? Do you not have like a shatter scale or?
I have
A
Thunder
scaling
Wave, but I do
shatter?
not
Alright,
have Fireball.
Evan, I think Josh's plan is a great idea, but I do have a question for you.
yes.
How big are the shells for the artillery cannon? Or are they even accessible? Or are they housed in an internal loading mechanism?
It's housed in an internal loading mechanism. You do not see any physical shells that get ejected or that get loaded.
I assume they work similar to how the Eldritch rifles work, where it's a matter of magical capacity more than it is a physical shell.
Alright, well there goes my plan.
I do remember that being explained when they first got back from the battery they faced on the other side of the mindscape.
Yep. Yeah, it was some kind of mortar.
Well, with gloomstalkery intentions, once I know that this is feasible, I think I'll just make the 20-foot wide path from them to us.
Use the helmet to tell Lady Athena to tell them to not fucking go anywhere but where you clear.
We did. I swear to you, we made it clear
I
to
know,
her.
I'm sure you did, but apparently the goddess of wisdom has stupid soldiers. Sorry, that's not Inquiry's voice. But apparently the goddess of wisdom has stupid soldiers.
Hey, we
Well-
can still hear you, you know.
Then avoid the mines, you dense meat sacks!
All right, this is starting to feel a little bit racially motivated, Inquiry. I'm gonna have to ask you to just chill a little bit.
At this point, it is. Be competent soldiers. Sorry,
That's-
Sankt. I
honestly,
just need to keep
that's fair.
angry to maintain my rage.
And as soldiers, they should be fully prepared to face that.
Speaking of,
Uh,
Evan, am I still raging?
I should be.
Yeah, you know what? I will let you. We'll say that yeah, you can still be raging, but you're gonna need some way to keep your rage up.
I'm bitching at the soldiers currently.
Something about someone winning the Darwin Award twice
Yeah.
really pisses a man off sometimes.
And this year's winner
Especially
goes
because
to.
Not only did Inquiry not touch a single mine, Inquiry didn't take a single point of damage during the assault. I'm still sitting at my max HP.
God damn.
I thought you almost died.
No, that was
No.
me when the APC exploded.
Oh yeah, that was Sankt.
Remember? Because I've been teleporting and dropping on motherfuckers.
Oh, that is true.
I've been teleporting 30 feet above people and just slamming into them.
In which fight did you almost get your ass beat on?
I don't remember.
Oh, it was when you first got to the temple. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. So you see blast marks from where previous mines have gone off, and now you see 2 more blast marks, right?
Oh yeah, I suppose someone should try to figure out the pattern that these are laid out in. Mogis is apparently some god of dark wisdom. Perhaps there's a pattern there.
Well,
Also, I'm not going to do it. Oh wait, shit. Do I have the highest intelligence in the party? 14.
12 over here.
12.
You all are free to make investigation rolls to see if you can detect a pattern.
I have a 16 in intelligence.
Okay.
How far is the APC of reinforcements from us?
No, it's not an
currently
APC.
in
It's just like ground
landmine
troops.
distance?
Okay.
How far are they
inquiry.
in landfill?
Realizing that he might be the person with the most battlefield experience on this, despite him not remembering his battlefield experience, tries to figure out the placement of the landmines, and natural 20 for a 24 investigation.
You notice that
And I'm just going to start firing on landmines when I see them.
So you notice that the landmines seem to be spaced about about 10 feet apart.
Landmines are spaced about 10 feet apart, and I start firing.
Make me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attack rolls. Are you using your arm cannon for this?
Arm cannon, integrated crossbow, whichever seems more effective for this task.
Did I give you an arm
I'm
cannon?
going to turn my scope on.
I integrated one of the Eldritch rifles into my arm.
That you did, yes.
So I have crossbow on my left and Eldritch rifle on my right.
Yeah, I forgot I'm basically just slowly turning you into Optimus Prime.
That is why I'm trying to do his voice.
Wonderful.
Okay, anyway, 17 on the die for the first one, so that definitely hits.
Yep.
10 on the die, which probably hits.
You missed the second one.
Sorry, 10. What? Let's see. I think I'm more accurate with my integrated longbow, so 15.
Yeah, you hit that
15
one.
for the second one. Okay.
If you roll above a 14,
17.
you'll hit it. Yep, hit it.
Okay, 3 hits. 4 hits. 5 hits. Miss. Hit. Miss.
Okay.
But
So-
I'm shooting arrows, so I'm marking the point where that was only 7. Hit. Okay.
Okay, so you missed one.
Yeah, I blew up 5 of the landmines. Okay, I missed that shot, but no one go near that mechanical crossbow bolt. There's a mine near it.
Yes, sir. All right, so the team, your reinforcements of 15 Athenian soldiers come along the right side.
That's all we're fucking getting?
Wait. What battalion is this? What troop are you? Penelope, do you recognize these guys?
I do not recognize all of Athena's forces myself.
I think he's asking if these are actually Athenian or if we need to start firing.
I believe these to be imposters, considering they got the direct order to come here with the warning of the landmines.
So everyone just...
And didn't expect the landmines.
So both sides just start pointing their guns at each other now. The two exterminators, Penelope's units, right? Everyone's just like, you have a wall of 5, like
Spider-Man pointing at each other.
Yeah,
hey, you guys, you Athenian soldiers, what's the name of the blacksmith back at camp? I don't remember his
I
name,
don't
but we
remember.
definitely know his name because we spent like 2 days helping him in his shop.
The
So
blacksmith?
Inquiry definitely remembers his name.
We're going to retcon the name because I don't remember it.
Good enough for me.
You mean Hugh? What about that old bastard?
Is that the correct name to Inquiry's knowledge?
Yes, to Inquiry's knowledge, that is the correct name of the blacksmith.
And what about the quartermaster that runs the shooting range, who's surprisingly stingy about walking away with equipment?
You mean Frank? God, I can't stand that asshole. You hear a soldier in the back shout that.
Somebody has issues with him.
Okay, personally, I believe them, and I go back to watching the staircase to see if anyone's coming down and if I need to fire an artillery cannon.
We can't afford to lose any more of you. Be wiser, or you will be assumed to be a
not go
self-destructive
near-
fool.
Do not go near the section of the ground that has one of these sticking out of it, and I fire another crossbow or another integrated longbow arrow just into the ground. Do not go near that. There is a landmine next to it.
Do you fire it towards them, or do you just kind of like pointing your arm down at the ground and shoot it?
I mean,
Are
it's
you about to
near them,
shot
but
herd
it's
around
like
the world
I'm
by our
aiming
asses?
for halfway between us and them.
Okay,
I
wait,
am
so you
aiming
turn back
nowhere
around.
near any of them.
So do you turn
No.
back around? Okay, so make me an attack roll with disadvantage. As you're blind firing this shit.
21, jackass.
Alright, yeah, you don't hit anyone. It luckily lands right in front of them, and they're like, oh, okay.
Adrie's just shaking in the corner, like, murder.
Yeah, Penelope
Adrie, I will come down there and AO jail your ass.
Penelope soldiers are still
If you're not
pointing their
healing,
guns.
come over here next to me where the enemy will be closest.
Penelope, are we waiting to
Okay.
storm the tower
I'm running.
until we
Avoid
get
the landmines!
all clear from Athena? Is it going to be a simultaneous storm on all sides?
This is
And
the
we're just
only way
waiting
up.
for that call?
No, this is the only way up as far from what we've been told, so we're waiting for her to arrive. And then we'll all go up
okay.
together.
So we're just holding this position
yeah.
until then.
They all kind of
Gotcha.
holster their weapons, they all put them away, but you can tell that Athena, Penelope still doesn't fully trust these soldiers. And she turns to you, Sankt, and you know what, Sankt? Go ahead and can you roll me a religion check, please?
In the name of matron, I will. That's an 18.
In a language that you have heard only once in your life. That was when you met the matron herself.
Ooh.
Penelope turns to you and says, keep your eye on these bastards.
Alright, my scope goes from the mist at the top of the stairs to one of these assholes.
And
I
you
continue to watch the top of the stairs.
And Sankt, you also notice that kind of the Penelope says something to the others as well. And they kind of they start to form a little bit of a tighter wall between the soldiers and you guys. And one of the soldiers turns to her and says, what, do you not trust us or something? And you hear her say, I have lost too many of my sisters and my brothers in this fight, that the fact of you showing up without Athena herself does not instill confidence in me. I will shoot you down right here if you so much as move the wrong way.
Penelope, I get the wisdom, and honestly, I agree. So, you lot, come up past me and form the vanguard for when they start coming down the stairs.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and they kind of form. So the two exterminators, then kind of come over and they help you pull the cannon back, so that where the front barricades were, right? The soldiers are now posted up there. So
I'm going to call out to one of the soldiers and be like, "Hey, how did you receive your orders to reinforce our position?"
Lady Athena told us in the midst of the battle, but everything was so muttered over the comms that it was all we heard was reinforce Penelope.
Hey, who's your commanding officer?
Commanding officer.
Just make up a name, Evan.
No, I know they're thinking about it. They're like, oh shit. Hey, have you seen
The people who are alive and present currently in this group, who is most highly ranked and in charge?
That would be me.
And
Captain-
your name?
Captain Polites, 4th Regiment, Athena Battalion.
This guy died.
Cool. And I'm going to look at Sankt, who's wearing a special helmet that lets him speak directly to Athena.
Oh yeah,
You
shit,
wanna
Sankt still
confirm
has the
that?
helmet on. Oh yeah, one of the Reborn comes over and he takes his helmet back. He's like, I need this back. And he just puts it
Okay,
on.
you want to fucking confirm that then?
Can I, before he takes it back, call out to Athena and be like, "Hey, this guy says he is the most senior here of these 15 troops that backed us up on your call."
Yeah, this asshole
are
said something
super
about open
suspicious.
arms. Is this the right guy?
Yes,
I don't
yes.
think this guy survives 15 years in your military, I'm not gonna lie.
No, I did send Polites to your location. You hear everything's calm on her side. Yes, I sent
Confirm a physical description.
Can you describe
glasses, red bandana, like black curly hair that's cut super short, like kind of looks scrawny as fuck.
Polites, doff the helmet.
He has his helmet off. You see it
Oh,
just.
son of a bitch. Alright, well, yeah, this is the guy. Sus as hell, but him, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have I noticed any targets present themselves up the
no.
staircase?
No targets have presented themselves. Yes.
Adrie, you're helping keep an eye up the staircase, right?
Yes. I'm watching
good on
like
you.
a hawk.
Because that's where the murder is gonna happen.
Saying
Murder.
That's where you get to be the princess.
Yes.
Athena tells you, I'm on my way with the rest of the troops. We were running a little behind schedule. I had to reinforce one of the other positions myself, but I sent Polites and them ahead of time. I'm sorry for not warning you properly that Polites and his troops would be arriving.
Hey, no worries. We were very surprised when 2 of your men straight up exploded after giving the landmine warning.
Yeah, the comms were a bit muddled. It
Understood.
felt like, but
Here's your helmet back, buddy. I won't be needing it anymore.
thank you, brother. And he puts the helmet back on.
Sankt, take one of the dead one's helmets.
Inquiry, you say that, and Penelope just turns to you, Sankt, and says, I would not do that if I were you.
Look, I'm sorry that it's rude and macabre, but we are in the middle of a war.
And regardless...
There's not a practical reason to not let him use the communication equipment, let him use the fucking communication equipment. And I think that I think that presents the fact that I'm still raging.
Yes, you are still raging. Penelope kind of just nods her head to you, like she understands that you're being this pissed off to continue raging. She turns to her 2 exterminators, and she tells them to go stand next to you and help you rage. So kind of the 2 guys just come over there, and they're just like, we've been told to help you rage. How can we help you?
You know any puns?
You have never heard this dark of a chuckle before. And for the rest of the time that you are raging, I don't have any, but think of the worst puns.
We can assume the
Yeah.
suffering of inquiry as Lieutenant Garrett delivers puns and dad jokes.
It is
Polar bear
canon.
walks into a bar and says to the bartender, "I'll have a rum and a Coke." The bartender asks, "What's with the big paws?" The bear shrugs, "I was born with them."
God damn.
I hope that Mr. Page is doing well.
Sankt, you take 4 points of psychic damage as you just hear as
Lady,
you just
be with me!
Oh, I wonder if they've conceived Forrest yet. Or perhaps it's Natalie.
Honestly,
Natalie.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah, so we'll let the five about 5 to 10 minutes pass by. You hear the sounds of more soldiers, approaching, and the sounds of vehicles kind of pulling up. Inquiry.
Sankt will train
Really,
a rifle
5 minutes and no
in that
target
direction.
presents itself for the artillery strike?
No, sir. So Athena comes over.
Mildly suspicious.
Athena comes over and she turns to you, Sankt, and she says, not Sankt, she walks right up to you, Inquiry, and she says, "Have you spotted anything? Anyone at all?"
No, and God hasn't even made me roll a perception check yet.
Athena, prove you are who you say you are.
You just made a very horrible joke, and I just attacked you psychically because you made a horrible, horrible joke that should not have gone unpunished.
Then why are these motherfuckers alive? And I point at the assholes that have been helping me rage.
They're not in
Or
my
undead, or whatever the fuck they are. Because they don't deserve anything but pain.
I don't control them. They're not my soldiers. Trust me, if my Reborn were here, we would have won this fight 6 months ago. But they're not.
Both of you.
Lieutenant Garrett and Sergeant Thomas just kind of like fist bump each other. And they're like, "We're doing our job." Athena comes over to you, Inquiry, and she kind of she like puts her hand on your shoulder. You feel your eyes, your vision start to grow, right? The fog clears up, right? All of a sudden you're able to see directly up to the top of the stairs. Feel free to make me a perception check with advantage.
That is a 16 plus 19.
Wonderful. You see a man, heavily armored guy, walk up to the top of the stairs. Black, bright red cape billowing behind him, right? His armor's all black and red and kind of demonic looking, right? He makes direct eye contact with you, Sankt. And with a ponytail, damn it. Alright, chat's winning with this. So, with the ponytail as well. He stares directly at you. Players, what is everyone's position in relation to Inquiry?
I'm still manning the cannon.
Okay.
But unless he acts first, once I see him, I'm going to say, "Well, someone aura farm." Sorry, let me use his voice. "Well, someone aura farming that hard is clearly a dark god," and then I'm going to shoot him with an artillery cannon.
All right. Roll to hit, please.
Just straight D20?
Straight D20.
7.
Okay. You fire your shot. It goes.
Don't I have several Reborn helping me right now?
Yeah, to
And
keep
3
you
small
raged.
dragonborn.
Yeah, don't I have several Reborn, a goddess that just bestowed me true sight, and all manner of other assistants, and I'm rolling straight?
All right, roll with advantage then.
I'm next to Inquiry.
Where are the
I'll be
triplets?
atop
Evan, you're
the
not going to
nearest
believe me.
spire.
What'd you get? Nat
The
20?
Natural 20.
Cool.
That man critted.
Children, where
The triplets,
triplets,
are
where are
helping,
you?
helping Inquiry. They've
All
been
right.
helping Inquiry with the cannon.
Good lord. Okay. Inquiry, you fire the shot. You see this.
Well, that is clearly a dark god.
You see it. It flies. It flies. It's just, it goes. Right before it hits him, he just raises his hand. It comes to a grinding halt. He turns his
Fuck.
hand.
And I'm
It
going to
spins
pick
around.
Up I'm gonna pick up the little dragons and I'm gonna just start chucking them away from me. Because I know he's throwing that shit back at me.
Before you
I'm
can
gonna
do
pick
that,
up the little dragons and the tiny elf. If I can't throw them, then I'm just gonna gather them under me, turn
Mhm.
my back, and just take the hit.
Can I take a shot on the returning projectile and try
So-
and intercept it?
we're gonna do. All right, we're doing this in order first. So, Inquiry, you see him stop it. He spins it. You see a smile come to his face.
Incoming!
You hear Athena yell, "Get down." He launches that back at you faster than you shot it at him. I need anyone around Inquiry, like within the general vicinity. So anyone who is within 5 feet of Inquiry. So the triplets, Adrie. No, actually, Adrie's not near Inquiry. So Inquiry and the triplets.
Yes, it was.
Okay, cool. So Adrie, Inquiry, and all three of the triplets.
So, quick judgment.
Yes.
Judging by the speed, does it look like I can gather them to shield them or not? Quick judgment. Does it
Well,
look like I can?
Depends where everyone is. If all 4 of them are on one side of you, yes, you can probably grab you can maybe shield 3. You can maybe shield 3 of them.
Okay, that's not good enough. I'm going to use my bonus action to teleport 30 feet ahead and above and take the shell.
Okay.
How
So
much is this gonna fuck me up, Evan?
My ass, I'm still shooting at that thing.
well, what oh, okay, yeah. So
Does
Sankt, are you still
save me
firing
from
the shot?
sacrificing myself?
Yes, I'm.
Or is
Okay.
he gonna shoot me in the back?
I'm intercepting this motherfucker.
Shit. All right, so Sankt, roll to see if you shoot Inquiry. Inquiry, do you remember what the damage type was on that cannon?
My guess
Radiant?
would be force.
Good.
No, I remember.
you're
Do you know
right.
what the
The-
dice was?
You're right, the Eldritch Cannons were force.
Oh.
Oh.
Maybe I took it in my notes.
It's
But
okay if we
God,
can't
I
find
hope
it.
that it's bludgeoning.
D45.
I know it's not, but I
No,
really hope it's bludgeoning.
Yeah, it's force. What did I
Damn
do
it.
with half of my fucking
I'm
notes?
not
Whoopsie
resistant to
doodles.
bludgeoning. Pringle Nader, I need you to shut your whore mouth.
I think that's what it was, Josh.
No, D45 is what his classification is. Oh, you're not talking to me. Sorry.
No, yeah, but I'm
Is that how Pringle's spelled? No, it isn't. You spelled Pringle wrong, brother.
Bring out.
okay. So it
Bro,
is.
if I were my dice, where the hell would I be?
I found it. I remembered it was in my notes. Okay.
Oh no. How
So-
dead is Inquiry?
He's gonna
Okay.
be tasting this
So
one.
you take because it's a natural 20.
Oh fuck you!
You take
That's incredible.
so it's
You telling me Athena doesn't have silvery barbs? Go fuck yourself.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
let me get there. It is so 20 force plus
That's a lot of
13.
dice.
So you take 33 points of force damage.
Plus 13 what?
Plus 13.
I
Or is
Just
it
rolled
13.
both force? Okay.
Both are force.
25 on the shot to intercept.
Okay, so you miss. Like you miss Inquiry, thank God. but inquiry, the blast hits you and sends you.
Oh, did I miss both shots?
No, so the roll was to see if you hit inquiry. Because inquiry stopped directly in front of where the projectile was going.
Not between us, right?
No, yes, between. So the shot is coming back down the stairs.
Yeah, because he's aiming directly at me.
Mm-hmm.
My inquiry's
But
assumption is
I'm
that
not with inquiry.
exactly.
I was on the high ground on one of the sides.
Okay, so yeah, your shot misses it.
Gotcha.
But inquiry, so it hits you, and you go flying down the stairs, colliding into the cannon, like basically squishing it and bunching it up. But before the cannon can do any major extra damage to you, your blow gets slightly softened by what was it? Sergeant Garrett and Lieutenant Thomas, kind of like grabbing you, and like going with you. So their armor ends up destroying the cannon, but you, inquiry, are fine. Aside from that initial fuck up damage.
Alright, I'm on 20 HP.
Athena turns.
Out of curiosity, how bad would 25 hit points of damage have fucked up the triplets and Adrie, or was this a foolish decision on Inquiry's part?
So 25
It
would have
killed Adrie.
Yeah, and it would have instant killed one of the
very
triplets.
happy with his decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have only barely survived it.
Yeah, it would have
Inquiry
triple killed the triplets.
Very, very happy with his decision.
You hear, so after this, you just hear a dark chuckle coming from the top. And you just hear...
I'm going to shout in Olympian, "Is that all you got, you edgy bitch?" Sorry, that's not Inquiry's voice. "Is that all you have, you edgy bitch?" And I'm going to start sprinting up the stairs because it's still my turn.
Oh, so as soon as you shout that, in like all of a sudden you shout that, you go to get up. As soon as you get up, you hit a body and fall back down to the ground as he is standing there above you. He is standing there above you, a great, like a not very happy looking greatsword down at his side. As he looks at you, and he says, "You want to try that again?"
Was firing the cannon my action?
No, I'm going to say that was your
Teleporting
surprise
in front of
round.
The blast wasn't. Oh,
If you're starting combat, then that would have been your surprise. Then that would have been your surprise round.
In that case, I'm going to use my bonus action to teleport 30 feet above him and say, with utter fucking pleasure. And I'm going to slam down on him from 30 feet above, reckless attack. So I'm rolling at advantage to hit him with my big fuck off hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Natural 20.
Really?
Yes.
The dice are on your side.
Natural 20 and a 4.
All right.
They had to be at some point.
Yeah, you come down and you collide with him. You hit him.
So that is 18 plus 4, 22 plus 4 is 26 plus 3, 29 points of magical bludgeoning damage.
Wonderful.
Because my hammer is magical
Indeed
for the purposes of negating resistance.
So you hit him.
Oh, and I forgot to add gravity. 5, 10, 11. And does gravity also add to the crit?
No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So 29 plus 11 is 40 points of magical bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, you come down, you hit him with everything that you've got.
With utter fucking delight. And now I assume I'm going to get my shit pushed in.
So when you land, you hit him, right? Like you saw the hammer connect with his shoulder, right? But you swore that you were aiming for his head. So
Did this motherfucker uncanny dodge me?
no. So he hit it like hit his shoulder, and he just, the hammer's down, right? His arm's still there. He just kind of turns, just, grabs his arm, just pops it back into place. He turns to you and he says, "I'm not here for you." And he turns to look at Athena and looks at her and says, "You and I need to have a discussion."
Did I do actual damage to him? My turn's over. I can't do anything else, but I am curious. Did I do actual damage, or am I not able to tell?
You're not able to tell.
Fuck
It looked
you.
like he just kind of like dusted his shoulder pad off.
Oh,
Damn.
fuck you. I did 40 damage in one attack
You
at level 3.
you dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone who has had his shoulder torn out of socket
Mhm.
in real life, it's a debilitating injury.
Yeah, okay. So you basically flattened his shoulder pad. You knocked it right off of his armor. You
His
flattened it.
pauldron is now just like a penny, like
Yeah.
one of those bent pennies.
So when he popped his arm back into place, pulled it off, just kind of tossed it aside.
We're past the point of negotiation, Mogis.
Then you wish to all die?
Technically, I'm not alive.
That is true.
I mean, death is kind of where I belong, homie.
You do radiate it.
Cough, cough. This is Deon speaking. What is Athena doing and saying?
Having a breakdown.
Oh, she's about ready. She's like, has her spear is like pointed at his throat. So like as soon as you came down, in like as you were coming down, she pointed her spear is at his throat.
Oh wait, I thought he was at the top of the stairs.
No, he came down.
No, he teleported.
Oh, gotcha.
So I was about to start sprinting up the stairs to try and draw aggro away from the party,
Mm-hmm.
and he teleported in front of me. I ran into him, and then I teleported above him, hit him, and then he said his cold line after disregarding 40 points of damage like it was nothing. I want to
Yes.
be clear, Evan. Your
Mhm.
aura farming is working. Inquiry just don't give a fuck.
I know Inquiry don't give a fuck. That's what I like about Inquiry.
Your
Evan is
your
being
aura
creepy as
farming is
apps.
effective.
Time to Google that term after this.
You spent 2 days trying to convince me to let you play a solo leveling class, and you don't know what the verb aura farming is? Fuck you.
Not to get political, but come on, Evan.
I know.
Fuck you.
Well,
Well, I do know that the term of it. I was just yanking your chain. I think. Yeah. Everyone.
Sure.
you know what it is and say it right now?
Likely story.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
I don't. I'm not gonna lie. All right. So
Everyone bully him.
fuck off. Anyway. So Athena turns to him, and Sankt, you've said your line. She says, "I have to agree with Bird Boy on this. You came into my home. You laid siege to my home. You killed my troopers. You prevented me from going home for 6 fucking months, if not longer, because I lost track of time because I despise your ass so goddamn much. Now you better give me a damn good reason why I don't plunge this spear into your throat and let my brother take over to whoop your ass back to where it came from. Yeah, you kind of see a visible, like, sweat drop. Like, he starts sweating when she says, let my brother take over and whoop your ass, right? Who's closest to her?
I mean, I'm
Surely
standing
Inquiry.
directly behind him.
Yeah.
Inquiry, Sankt, anyone who's, like, actively looking at her, please make me, perception rolls. Or perception or investigation, whatever's fucking higher.
Oh, I ain't gonna be seeing shit.
Yeah,
11.
me either. I got an 8.
Adrie?
I think he might literally be blocking my view of her.
I've
I'm still
got a
standing on the inside of his brain.
Oh, jeez. Alright, yeah, none of y'all see it. Okay, yeah. So,
If it helps, my passive investigation is 16.
I'll on a passive investigation, I'll say you feel
Aura.
not aura. You see minus 100 aura. You see her.
oh god.
You see kind of red lightning, like electricity, start to crackle on certain parts of her, like around her.
Oh, on her?
Yeah, on her. When she says that line, as she's getting pissed off. And then Mogis turns to her and says, look, I thought I would extend the courtesy of telling you that we are leaving. We have been called back. However, your brother owes me a rematch, and I will gladly take his life this time. But, from God to God, who both know why we are involved in this conflict right now, I extend a professional courtesy of letting you know that I will not be returning, and I will be leaving. Any forces of mine left here, you are free to do with them as you wish. But I am gone.
Mogis, before you leave, why are the Olympians so keen on erasing the history of your pantheon?
Yeah, I'm pissed off that you threw an artillery shell back at me, but I am also a scholar and a learner of things. Fuck you, but I do want to hear your side of the story.
Athena chimes in. She kind of puts her spear and her shield away. They just magically disappear. She turns to him and she says, I thank you for the professional courtesy. And I am grateful that unlike the others, you still have your sanity. He turns to her and, you see him return a head nod. And she also turns to and then she turns to you, Sankt, or Inquiry, and she says, the problem with erasing the Pantheon was it's not the history that we are trying to erase. And then Mogis chimes in and he says, it is actually us that they are trying to erase.
Okay,
For what
Deon
purpose?
understands what they're talking about,
To
but
what end?
yeah, Josh, you keep going.
There were, in the spirit of full honesty, I actually do not want to be participating in this fight. Athena and I were great friends many, many thousands of years ago.
Cough,
Clearly.
cough. Sorry, that's not Inquiry's voice. Cough, cough. 6 months of murder. And he
Years.
does say the words cough, cough.
Yes. However, I still do not agree with this conflict. I do not agree with the master that I serve. However, until I can find a way out, I am nothing but a pawn in this game. So, I thought the first step to getting out of this bullshit, as you would call it, is to approach my opponent and offer, you could say information, you could say a deal, but he kind of reaches into his, he holds his hand out and like a notebook appears, and he hands it to Athena. And he says, if you want to take a look, it's not cursed, it's not booby-trapped, it's nothing. But that notebook will contain information that Zeus will be able to use. Now look, I agree. 6 months of murder, if not more. It's not fun. But at the end of the day,
I'm gonna look down at the trooper that got her legs blown off, and Inquiry barely has eyebrows, but just give her the like, this motherfucker. Look.
oh yeah, she looks like she's ready to grab her. Actually, all of the Reborn look like they are ready to grab their pistols and shoot this and fill this fucker up with Red Bull-sized bullets.
Bolter
Reborn
rounds, but
aren't-
okay.
Yes.
The Reborn aren't dumb enough to believe that they're anything more than pawns in this conflict, surely.
Oh, no, they
standing up
to know.
They're standing under two gods that, for fun, play these war games.
Yeah.
well,
But still,
yes. It's a
person to
difference.
person, or I guess robot to zombie.
Amen.
Ain't this a bitch?
She kind of returns your head, like gives you a small head nod, like yeah, she agrees with you. Anyway, Mogis turns to her and he said, he's like, I will be leaving, but if you want to verify the contents of that notebook, show it to Amalgra. And he walks, and he starts heading back up the stairs.
Be in your interest to put you out of your misery here and now? You're clearly serving some entity you don't agree with. Surely, whatever mortal coil resides between this immortality and the next immortality would be far better suited for you than working against us even passively.
Also, while Sankt is saying that, Inquiry wants to just, as much as possible, memorize everything about the notebook he gave to her, his armor, his demeanor, his everything.
Understandable.
And such.
Alright, so Inquiry starts memorizing all of that, logging it into the databanks. He turns to you, Sankt, and he says, every war has an insider on either side. I extended the olive branch to Athena to give to Zeus. I am willing to play the role of the insider. That will be the best way to end this conflict, being one step ahead.
Okay, then explicitly, who do you serve? Who is so keen on bringing your pantheon back that has none of the best interests of your pantheon?
An old...
Yeah, who's a big enough asshole that you're willing to do this but still betray them?
Have you heard the legends of Tiamat?
Have I?
I mean,
Like, I know that...
anyone, surely you have.
Yes, I know what I was built for, Josh, but I'm asking if Inquiry knows.
Was this the previous... That was the previous campaign where I showed you the flashback, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Gel knows what the hell
Yes.
is going on. Inquiry only knows that he was made to fight in the Abyss against Tiamat.
You do not. So none of the party knows about her, but you see Athena, and you see, not Athena. You see the
Reborn.
No, Athena kind of her gaze darkens, like a shadow comes over her eyes, and she says, "Is she officially back?" And he says, "Yes. The stunt in Blackwood was only the beginning." And with that, he leaves. He just kind of like opens his hand up. He just kind of like opens a portal, walks through, and it closes behind him.
Did the swing hurt?
We'll
So-
have a rematch. And you hear before he steps through, he chuckles and he's like, "I am eager for our rematch."
I'll take that as a yes.
So Tiamat is controlling the. What's the name of this pantheon again? It has a name. It's not Zero.
Theros.
Theros. The Theros pantheon.
Yeah.
And started this in the War of Flames, which was like what, 20 years ago?
30.
30.
years ago?
Well, let me review the notes because I actually do have
Which
notes
the
on that.
official story of the War of Flames. No, Evan, we worked this out. It's 30 years ago.
No,
Which
28
the official
years.
Story,
Oh, no, 30
28?
years. Yes. No, I'm stupid.
Yes. Which the official story,
30
which
years
I think is
ago.
what we know, is that Talandria, the country that drafted us, went to war with Blackwood. And I don't know if we uncovered the hidden truth or if I'm mixing things up from what Gel knew.
Well, what happened in Blackwood was there were like Blackwood. From what I was told by
Yeah, let me look at my notes.
Skywalker, General Skywalker,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
uh, the wizards wanted some rare resource, some kind of power, and so they opened a portal to Avernus, and then Avernus kind of clawed into this plane and overtook
Mm-hmm. Blackwood.
Blackwood.
Okay, so we do know what actually happened. So yeah,
And then
the
there was a
official
deep
story.
state psyop where
Mhm.
Talandra didn't specify the war was in Blackwood against demons
Mm-hmm.
from Avernus. They just said that there was a war going on with Blackwood.
And Blackwood has been completely destroyed.
It is just ashen, like tree stumps, essentially.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, so Athena, so he leaves. Athena is starting to like visibly shake.
Evan,
Yes.
I'm looking at my notes and I have a vision that one of my characters experienced. Did Inquiry experience a vision of his past with Tiamat, or is this Gel?
So okay,
Did
mixing.
Inquiry ever?
No, you had. Okay, no. When you awakened, you had a vision. Like when you awakened, right?
Yeah.
You had a vision of you on the battlefield with your brothers, with the Reborn, fighting against a giant dragon. You actually had the
Do
same
I
vision.
know that to be Tiamat?
I have that
No,
in my
you do not know that
notes
to
as
be
well.
Tiamat. But you had that, actually, ironically, you had that same vision from two different point of views on two different characters.
Ah, fuck you.
Sounds good.
I
So
knew
yeah,
you
so
were a bottom.
so Athena starts to like visibly shake.
So Athena's afraid of Tiamat.
She turns to you and she's like, we need to get to Olympus now."
Okay, I know I don't know specifics, Evan, but does the name Tiamat do anything for Inquiry?
You get that, you just have that vision replayed of Inquiry fighting the giant six-headed dragon.
Okay, so you guys see Inquiry's rage stop. His armor recedes back, or actually, his rage kind of starts vibrating, his armor goes up, and a couple of different things start overlapping, but none of them properly manifest the way you've seen them when his rage activates correctly, and the gems of his eyes start going a bit static. And you hear everyone but a couple of the... Would my initial operating system... No, my initial operating system is in Infernal. So anyone who can understand Infernal... Can anyone understand Infernal?
The Reborn and Athena.
Cool. Well,
One
they
of
would
my-
know what I'm saying
Oh,
anyway.
I do.
Still
Rosa
does.
does. And yeah,
Okay, so Adrie and Syl, you start hearing a series of things. Combat log, playback, insert numbers here for when this happened. And I just start kind of shuddering and then come back to myself. And my rage is over.
Ah.
Okay.
Athena hears that, her eyes go wide, and she turns to everyone. She's like, up the stairs, now.
Well, I think our inquiry took quite the hit. We might want to stabilize him.
We can
just
stabilize
so he
him in
doesn't damage
Hephaestus's
himself
workshop.
further.
I'm fine.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you know, but you kind of blanked out there for a moment and started speaking? Question mark.
Yeah, does
Like,
Inquiry
I've never
remember
heard
speaking
For those
that?
of you who don't speak Infernal, it just sounded like
hell.
objectively. Yes, it sounded
Yeah,
like hell.
it sounded
Mhm.
objectively hell.
It sounded like
Yeah.
I just started making the noises of hell.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, as a follower of the Matron of Ravens, I know what hell sounds like. But damn. Like, damn. That wasn't even romantic hell. Like Dante would shit his pants
Yeah.
if he heard what I heard on this day.
Alright, so Athena starts ushering everyone up the stairs. The Reborn are following you guys. Everyone is just up the stairs.
There anything on the battlefield worth looting?
No.
Cool.
Not without earning some of the Reborn's ire.
Yeah. So you all rush up the you all get like ushered up the stairs. Like Athena seems to, you all can kind of hear Athena seeming to have almost like a conversation with herself. You hear
Ooh.
you kind of hear two voices, right? Or no, you hear the same it's the same voice, but almost like different mannerisms, different tones, right? You hear like this, the scared voice of, like, I don't want a repeat of what happened, right? Like we can't let that happen again. I thought it was over, I thought we ended it in Blackwood. I thought we ended it. And then you hear another voice saying, like, and still in her voice but more calmer, like, you need to calm down. Zeus is going to take care of this. We have more forces this time than we did last time. We were caught off guard. Now we are prepared. And you just hear her just having this like strategic panic getting reassured conversation with herself as she's leading you guys up the stairs.
Hey, guys, she's doing the same thing I do.
That
Talk to
reminds
the
me, you did
voices.
great, Adrie, and I'm going to pick her up so that she doesn't go doing something unfortunate. You did a wonderful job, Adrie. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
All right.
The voices say I should have murdered, but it's okay.
You did. You did kill several people, and you did it very well.
Alright, so you all get to the top of the stairs, and yes, always listen to the voices, Josh. You all get to the top of the so you all get to the top, then you notice this, like, the same temple that you guys entered to get here. You noticed kind of the same layout, right? It's wide, there are decorative, kind of carpets, banners, books thrown, books everywhere, right? A giant statue of Athena with a doorway, like a physical door at the base of the statue.
Any books?
Well, you notice that books are strewn about everywhere, so it looks like, someone left in a hurry.
So I'm just gonna open my big ass backpack and just start, like, you know what a trowel net is, where
Yeah.
you like put a net on the ocean floor. I'm just gonna,
Oh, dredging.
yeah, just start dredging the floor of Athena's library for books. And unless she stops me, I'm just going to get a literal sack of Athena's books.
Yeah, she's gonna say, if you want to borrow my books, you can ask. They're all at Olympus.
May I?
Yes, you can borrow whichever
I
ones
continue
you need.
dredging books.
Okay.
Any magical items or anything of value? Something a ranger might find to his taste.
I know that I literally
No magical items
just
there.
swung a hammer at a god, but I am a scholar.
I knew I liked something about you, Inquiry.
I doubt there'll be much truth in those
Everybody
books.
likes something about me.
Sankt, in regards to your statement, my books are the one library in all of Olympus where nothing is stricken from record. Everything is as it was, as it will be. You will learn more and understand more reading from my library than you would from anywhere else.
All right, if Inquiry had a willy, he'd be visibly erect.
And
only in the case that the victors write history.
You do speak the truth with that. However, seeing as you all did you did me a great favor by helping me take back my domain and helping my soldiers take the compound that was causing us hell on earth for the whole time I have been here. I want to extend my gratitude from the goddess of wisdom to you lot and say thank you. I know you did not need to help. I understand it was a huge ask, me asking you to help us. And I appreciate it. If there is anything I can do for any of you, please do not hesitate to ask.
You have any ability to restore my memories?
Favors and gods don't mix well.
Favors from certain gods do not mix well. But I understand your hesitation. As for your memory, I would need to speak to your father about that. That
Literally
is
what everyone fucking says about it.
Yes, I understand, but that was also the one component I was not allowed to look at on the blueprints. Or touch, or
If
do
you
anything.
have my blueprints.
Yes, so she walks over to a random bookcase. She goes to grab a book, right? And it just, random book, it just kind of glows gold for a minute, and then she pulls it out. She flips through it, and she comes over and she hands it to you. And you see at the top it says, D45, right, Josh?
Yeah.
So it says D45
that's my model number.
combat unit, right? Use codename, what is it? Codename Inquisitoris Draconis, right? Or Project Inquisitoris Draconis. I think that's the proper... Is that the proper Latin? Or is that the proper way of saying
Well,
it?
Draconis is certainly dragon, but why am I
Inquisitoris.
Inquisitoris? Because
Studier
Inquisitoris is like
of dragons.
studier and investigator.
Inquisitor. Is that the
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm... Is that the proper thing? Like Inquisitoris? Or Inquisitor
Inquisitoris is more of an organization, but either way, we get the point you're trying to make here.
So Inquisitoris Draconis. You see notes translated for you in common, right? It it says, the D45 combat unit was built specifically to combat Tiamat and subsequent dragons. Armor is
Inquisitor is just straight up Latin.
okay, Danka. So Inquisitor Draconis. The armor has, metal plating has been superheated to withstand standard breath weapon attacks. However, full immunity to these attacks is still a work in progress. Period. Then there's some more notes about, like weapon attachments, right? Then it breaks down kind of the different classes of the, Inquisitor Draconis unit. You have some with dual arm blades, right? You have some who, like, transform into actual, like, giant artillery guns, right? You have, your unit, Inquiry, which has, the big ass hammer and the crossbow integrated into the arm.
Hey, Inquiry. Not that it's really my place to say, but if the hellscape we heard back there on the steps is you remembering something of your history, what are the odds that, restoring your memories doesn't just like soft lock you? Is it possible that that
Well,
Inquisition?
apparently the only active memory that I have is the past 15 years, and before that, I spent an unknown amount of time in a cave somewhere. So, not zero. Certainly not zero.
Perhaps we should
So
ease
that,
into
yeah,
your
that was
history.
a memory of me fighting with a enormous six-headed dragon in
Six-headed
hell.
dragon?
You remember the
Also,
combat?
Evan,
Yes.
is it six heads or do you mean five?
I
Because
meant 5.
traditionally Tiamat is five, with an
Yeah, okay.
enormous five-headed dragon.
Okay, because if it was 6, were they unique dragon types
Did it
for each
match the
head?
dragons that attacked the city?
That's my question.
No, it
It wouldn't be
matched.
possible if there were 5.
You saw the red. How many dragons attacked the city?
6. Sapphire,
It was
emerald,
one
amethyst,
red and
red,
then several
topaz, crystal.
gems.
So it matched. The red head matched, but the others did not.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So you fought a dragon. Or a hydra? A dragon with multiple heads?
Body plan of a hydra, but with functioning wings and several unique heads able to perform different actions.
I have not faced such a beast in my hunts.
May I recommend that we continue on our way to Olympus, so that you may further receive the answers that you seek.
Unless there's anything else to gain here, sure. And literally, unless she stops me, I'm going to fill my entire backpack with her books.
Is this the last we will see of our Reborn?
Of Penelope's like, of us? At this rate, you'll be lucky if you can get rid of. At this rate, you'll be lucky if you can get rid of us.
Alright. Then to Olympus we'll return.
Alright, so Athena walks over, she kind of pulls a key out from around her neck, puts it in the door, opens it, and almost immediately after opening it and the doors swing open, you see a blue portal open up. It starts to form, right? And then you see the shape of New Athens, right? From the top of the stairs, like in the Parthenon, up at the top.
Mhm.
almost immediately a bunch of soldiers come flooding through, right? And it's just like, it's pandemonium, right? Soldiers come flooding through, everyone's, happy to see Athena, right? And then you see and then the a man walks through, right? He's covered in, let me actually pull my notes out real fast. You hear the voice first. You hear the voice say, "Oh, darling, I'm so glad you're back." However, when you all turn to see the voice that you have heard before, of good old Hermes, and Jay, but he looks different than when you saw him. His right arm, yes, his right arm is missing. His right eye, missing, right? His body seems to be very burnt.
He doesn't look all right.
How long were we gone?
No, there's nothing. I use magic to keep this hidden. This is from a... See, and he kind of like snaps his left hand finger and, he goes back to the way that you saw him before. And he snaps it again and
Does
it
that trigger
reverts.
any memories?
No, not for you. Not for inquiry, at least.
Alright.
He says, "No, this was an encounter I had 30 years ago. But it's okay. I'm still the same. You were gone for maybe 2 days at most. Not that long."
Why are the gods of this pantheon so deceptive?
They're lying bitches, which is the whole reason that I hadn't brought up my terrible memories of Tiamat yet. I didn't want to do it in front of Athena.
Would you feel more comfortable if I walked around missing an arm, missing an eye from an encounter that I got my ass beaten?
Would you feel more comfortable if I masqueraded myself as something I'm not?
Sankt, it's rude to bully a cripple.
No, I understand what he is. I understand what he is saying. However, let's first of all, how about we get you all to Olympus?
Wait, where's Adrie and what is she doing?
I don't know. Is
Inquiry
there
comes
anything
to a
to
sudden
stab?
realization that he hasn't checked on the murder princess in a while.
Triplets, have you guys checked on the murder princess?
I think one of us is keeping an eye on Saf, while the other one is keeping a safe distance from the murder princess.
Saf, are you still conked out?
This is Sen talking. Yeah, no, he's out like a light.
It was
Oh, for
It was
fuck's sake, I will
one
bury
double
him.
amputation.
Sankt, I have been slapping this man like Deadpool trying to wake Wolverine, man. He's not waking up.
Right,
May
man
I
is
shake the baby?
a bit much.
Don't break his neck.
Do we have
That's
smelling
not
salts
where
or
I
something?
intend to shake him from, and I'm going to pick him up by the tail. And I'm going to just
Inquiry.
like a stripper with his
Everyone
shirt
should
off.
know that's just their spine, but longer.
By like the third swing, Saf will wake up and start screaming bloody murder.
Right, I'm gonna stop and like pull him into a big hug. It's okay. It's okay. And remember, I'm made out of metal, so I'm like literally cold to the touch. It's okay.
I think
Everything will be fine.
by this point, the only reaction Saf has is just a tiny little bit of vomit coming out of his mouth.
Oh, you should.
Yes, that's to be expected.
I
Get it all out, sweetie.
not seen that before.
Pat. And he says, pat, 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 as he just slaps you on the back.
Sen's just gonna say, please don't ever do that to me.
Don't pass out for an inconvenient amount of time. And you won't
Understood.
need to.
All right.
Would you like to ride in my backpack, or would you like to walk?
I will hop in the backpack.
There you go. and I put them in my backpack. And I think that's plenty of time for Adrie to have done something terrible.
Well, hang on. Syl is keeping a safe distance from the murder princess.
Exactly, so nobody's watching her.
No. Syl's watching. Just ready to cast mending if need be.
Oh, he's just watching from a distance in terror.
Yes. Absolutely. You think Syl wants to go up against Adrie? They're the same size and he's a magic one.
She's actually bigger than you.
Even more reasons to be terrified.
Yeah, you three are the only things that she's bigger than.
Yeah, no, Adrie's just like sitting, rocking back and forth, talking to herself, like just mumbling to herself. No one can really understand her, but she's just rocking back and forth, mumbling.
I think by this point, Syl is gonna peek out and be like, "Guys, is this normal?"
This is a
No,
healthy
but
amount
it
of
is very
incoherence.
good behavior as far as Adrie goes, and I'm going to pull out like a dog biscuit. Adrie, you've done wonderfully, and give you a dog biscuit and like scoop you up by the scruff of the neck. Would you like to ride in my backpack with one of the S's?
Wait, Adrie's gonna hop in the
Oh.
backpack?
And then I'm going to put you in the backpack with one of the S's.
I'm watching. I am staring into his soul as I'm mumbling to myself.
Be like, "God, let me out!"
Oh no, now my backpack smells of dragonborn urine.
Shall we,
Those scrolls are expensive. Don't piss on them.
Well, don't put me in a backpack with a murderer.
I'm gonna pick you up and pull you out of the backpack. To be
Athena,
fair, all of us are murderers.
Athena
I'm gonna
and,
set you
and
down.
Athena and Hermes are like kind of laughing to themselves as they're watching your group like act this way. But it's like good laughter, you know?
We have somewhere we need to be, right? We have a notebook to hand off to the king of your god pantheon.
Oh yes, we should probably get to that, and Inquiry's gonna pull out a notebook and start writing.
Oh
We
yes.
have a god of the ocean to recover from another god of the ocean.
Yes, Zeus has summoned all of you. That is also why I'm here, to relay the message. You know.
So does that involve a lot of walking, or does that involve like a chariot ride?
That involves a walk through the damn portal and you'll show up in the throne room. We use magic
enough.
for everything. Alright. Off with you lot. And, so he walks through the portal, disappears. Athena walks through the portal, disappears.
Sankt, I believe you dropped this, and I'm going to hand you a note that I pulled out of my notebook. And
yes.
it's going
Thank
to
you.
be a description of what my Tiamat vision is, because I have the wrong one written down. I'll look through the rest of my notes to see if I have the Inquiry Tiamat vision, but I have the other Tiamat vision written down.
Just take
which
Gels and inverse
is
it.
not the same thing. Okay.
That's all it is. It's the conflict from both sides. It's the same battle, it's just from two different viewpoints.
Cool.
Yeah. Alright, so the gods have disappeared. The Reborn are kind of just the two exterminators have walked through, the other two aerial units have walked through. Penelope looks at you guys, she pulls her helmet off, and she says, "Are you lot coming, or do you need some more time?"
I believe we are ready. Head count. I'm gonna look and see if Adrie's still in my backpack.
Yes.
So,
She is still
Sankt, the page that I gave you is a detailed description of my night terror, followed by "I still don't trust these bitches. Burn this note."
Alright. Sankt is going to immediately use his tinderbox to light it ablaze under his trench coat.
No, Adrie, stop! messing about in my backpack, and I'm doing that as a distraction to try and cover for Sankt lighting a paper on fire in public, which admittedly is exactly what I told him to do. But
Mhm.
True.
All right.
Well, we have
so
our
I'm going to
gods
be
attendants
playing
to
at
keep.
trying to deal with Adrie making a kerfuffle in my backpack. I don't think
Let
I've
us
ever
away.
used the word kerfuffle in a sentence before in real life. I'm proud of myself.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
All right. So she turns at Penelope, says, "If you lot are done, the king of the gods awaits." What does party do? Does party walk through portal or party stay still?
Party walks through. Well, Sankt walks through portal.
Inquiry walks through portal with Adrie in his backpack.
Iron
Triplets?
Prayer to
backpack.
the matron of ravens this whole time.
Wait, what'd you say, Sankt?
Saying a prayer to the matron of ravens this whole time.
Sounds good. Triplets,
Give
you
me
guys.
guidance to know when I'm being bullfitted by these gods.
Triplets, you walk through. Is Ashton
I'm going
alive?
to take that as a yes.
Huh?
Did,
We Dragon Boys.
Did you walk through the portal?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't respond. I thought you fell asleep again.
Nah.
Dope. All right. Yeah. So you all walk through. You arrive in the quite literally the center of a giant circular room. In front of you, there are at about the halfway point at the middle of the circle, like the back half of the room, the upper half of the circle is facing open sky. There are pillars, there are grand Greek pillars going all the up along the back, and you see I need to do the math again. I had the math. I sent it to Brady. 1 second. You see 15 thrones. Each one decorated differently.
Hmm.
Sitting.
Sankt has studied this pantheon and knows fairly well that's wrong.
What? There being
Regardless of
15?
what happens, I think Inquiry is just going to be staring directly at Hephaestus's throne.
Yes, you can point ahead. You can kind of point out which one is which, right? The grand one in the middle. 15. So the grand one in the middle is Zeus's, right? You can see the one that's marked as Poseidon's. You can definitely tell which one's Athena's. You can tell which one's Apollo's. You can tell which one's Aphrodite's, Hephaestus's. Hermes is sitting at his. He seems to be, after getting a kind of a brief intel report from Athena, you can see he seems to be reliving a certain memory. He's, shaking, right? You can hear the faint, whimpers of him crying, right? Like he's terrified, right?
Of Zeus or his throne?
Oh
What is he
yeah.
reacting
So
to?
now that I know the memory, would you like me to tell it, Evan? Or would you like to?
It should just be the inverse of what I told you for Gel, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, you can tell it to Josh then.
So what Inquiry wrote on the paper is he is down in this place of just barren, cracked red earth in a blank red sky all upon him, and standing enormous, basically inconceivably large, is this monstrous five-headed dragon. She has towering wings that stretch for what seems like miles. She is quadrupedal, down on fours with a long thrashing tail, capable of killing dozens in a single swing, and each of her 5 heads is a different color, but the one that stands out the most is red and identical to the dragon that laid waste to... God, why can't I think of the name? Was it
Talandria.
Dayfara? No.
Alandra.
Talandria. Dayfara is a different group's campaign, which are much better than us.
We'll get there.
No, we won't. There is 2 people that I recognize to be Hermes and Athena actively attacking it, as well as several other automatons that look like Inquiry, just taking on active combat, the various things that are described in my schematics, the ones that form artillery pieces, the ones that are basically 2-sworded berserkers, the ones like me, all pouring in to attack this enormous dragon. There's also a man in purple dual-wielding flintlock pistols, and just several other people that, now that we're in this room, we recognize as gods
Who was-
attacking this dragon.
Who was the man in purple?
I assume it's either Zeus or Dionysus.
I said man in purple?
Yeah, there is a black, slick-haired man in a fancy armor and cloak.
Wouldn't it be
There's a
Hestia?
man with dual flintlocks, purple and gold, mowing people down. There's a pair of what seem to be... they look like identical twins, but identical twins are not brother and sister. Both with bows and arrows, expertly firing into the weak spots of this enormous dragon.
I'm just
one
trying to remember
silver
who the-
and 1 gold.
Who was the purple person? I don't remember who that
I would
was.
assume either Zeus or Dionysus. They're the 2 that are purple, generally.
Okay. We'll keep it as is until I remember who the fuck it is.
Merlin.
Alright, I just sent you my
Not her.
notes for what I remember it as being. Those are the notes for what Gel saw.
I just got it. Okay.
So yeah, basically this enormous conflict against this just almost inconceivably large dragon that is actively fighting gods
An
and an army of me.
demons?
No. She was by herself.
So who's being mowed down by the dual wielder?
That is an excellent question. Evan, was she by herself or did she have minions?
No, there were minions fighting on the floor.
There were many, many minions.
Yes.
An entire army. That's the
Mhm.
main thing that the many inquiries were doing. Was running interference.
I remember who the man in
for my
purple was now.
Yeah, for my divine betters to be putting out actual damage against
Mhm.
something so profoundly powerful.
Yep.
And I will tell Adrie and the twins at some point. Actually, I probably would have slipped one of the twins. Which of you is the most sane and intelligent of the twins? You know what? When I pulled Saf out of my backpack, I also put the same note into his hands.
All right. So while you guys are having this,
Adrie, you don't get to know. I'm sorry, but you're crazy.
True.
All right. So are you done, or are you going to continue?
Oh, I'm done.
Okay. So as you're oh, sorry, go.
I was just gonna say it's your thing to describe and add to, but
Yes.
that's all that I know.
Mhm. Yeah, so as you all enter this room, you see the different chairs, right? There is all of a sudden kind of various different colored portals start to open in front of these different chairs as as people walk out of them, right? And and take their seats. Some of them are heavily armored, right, looking like they just came from a battlefield, and others look like they just came from the library or from to eat, right? They're wearing normal Greek godlike clothing, right? As certain people fan in, you notice that the chair that is obviously for Poseidon is empty. The chair next to who you can presume to be, well, you all studied the statues. The chair who sits next to Apollo is empty. The chair that is next to Athena is empty. And at the edge, or in one of the chairs, right, through one portal walks two people. Inquiry from your vision, a man with, the black slicked back hair and the fancy clothing, the fancy armor and cape, walks out. On his arm is a woman wearing a very elegant purple and black, not purple, sorry, dark green and black dress. Her
Aids in Persephone.
That would be my guess.
Yep, her brown hair is neatly tied up in a bun, right? And the two take their seats next to each other. There is one other throne missing. As Zeus arrives, right, in a grand thunderbolt in the middle of the room, and he goes and he takes his chair and he looks around at everyone, and he looks at the empty throne next to the people that you presume to be Hades and Persephone, and says, "Why are we missing one? Where is she?" The doors behind you open. Sankt, please make me a history check.
Totally
Is
too
the
good.
matron of Ravens Hera?
No. Hera's there.
That is a 19.
Wonderful. Sankt, the doors open behind you. Do you turn around to look? Or do you continue
Sure.
to stare at the gods in front of you?
Not much to look at over there. I'll turn around.
Alright. With your 19, you turn around to see the doors open and this woman wearing very elegant black armor. She looks to be the same size as the Reborn, right? The armor is befitting that of the Reborn, right? It's black, it's elegant, right? She has, for context purposes, if anyone knows what the Adeptus Custodes look like, that's kind of what her armor is similar to, but black. And
Oh, I was going to say that she looked like a battle sister to the Reborn.
no, I'm not a big fan of the Battle Sister armor.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a little too horny.
It is. But Adeptus Custodi, 10 times better.
Also very Roman. Good God.
Yeah. Welcome
So
to.
did you look up what the custodians look like?
Obviously, this
Yeah.
is sick. I love Warhammer art.
Mhm.
And I have.
I mean,
So, a woman wearing.
We don't have enough fans for Games Workshop to come after us.
Yeah.
good.
We.
Thanks, Josh, for being so cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, he's not here anymore.
Yeah.
He probably went. I think he went to bed. It's late for him. But she walks through. Her
Right.
helmet is still on, right? But Sankt, you hear in a voice that you have heard for. How old are you?
Late 20s.
Late 20. We're gonna say for about most of your life, that you have been on this realm, you hear the voice. You hear a voice say, "Why the fuck did you call me here?" As she pulls her helmet off, makes direct eye contact with Zeus, and says this to him. Sankt,
Sankt is on one knee as she enters the room in a bowed position.
Wait before you do that. Please describe your mother to the player base and the audience. If you don't have a description, I'll come up one with you.
Super dead as hell. She is also... Hold on.
You're a
She's
Shatter Kai.
also a Shader Kai, yeah. She had like a very kind of dirty blonde hair, very pale, of kind of a deep, dark, piercing brown eyes, and like overall the rest of her complexion was pale. Last Sankt saw of her, she was extremely sick and very gaunt and just kind of falling apart. So if this is who this is weird.
And that is what is going through Sankt's exact head as you are staring at the face of your mother.
No, this isn't my mother. This is her sister. Her twin sister.
Are these all thoughts running through Sankt's head right now?
This is...
Or is this you fighting your backstory with me?
Perhaps confirmation bias, but identical twins were firing on the beast in Inquiry's backstory.
Okay, so those were a male and a female twin.
Yeah,
I just
paternal twins. That's right.
Yeah, they just look very, very close to being identical twins, but they are paternal.
Paternal.
Also, since Josh included me, I wasn't going to interrupt, but is it safe to say Inquiry recognizes literally everyone from his memory except this woman? Or are there other people in the room that were not in his memory?
The main ones that you recognize are the person you presume to be Hades, Athena, Apollo, and the mysterious purple-dressed man. Everyone else you have not seen in your memory banks.
Cool.
Yep.
In the memory bank.
Yeah, but she is flanked by like a mass of 6 dark blue soldiers with black helmets, purple lenses, shields,
Just
and
a recolor of
like
the Reborn.
heavy guns. Well, yes, this different helmet color. The Reborn though all go to bend a knee, and Sankt, you are free to bend a knee.
Oh, I'm there as well.
Okay. So everyone is bent a knee.
If this is my mom, she is a Reborn.
You hear Zeus. So Zeus turns to him and he says, "Matrona, how nice of you to join." Shut the fuck up, old man. You pulled me away from the most important battlefield in all of this goddamn war to what? Have a meeting for an enemy that we already know is back? If you would just read my damn intelligence reports? You all can see Hades, like, and Persephone looking at her with, like, proud mom and dad energy of, like, you are standing up to your piece of shit uncle. We are so proud of you right now. And she's just continuing to stare at him.
Doing the math, and the apple fell off the family tree.
So what do you want that was so important to pull me away? Zeus kind of seems at a loss for words. She turns to you guys, so she's now kind of like standing in front of your group. And she turns around and she looks at those bowing and she says rise, right? Rise, go get resuited, get refitted, take some rest, and then you're getting redeployed. The Reborn do the, chest salute, and they walk out. Sankt, you are continuing to stare into the face of the person that looks very, 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 very shockingly much like your mother.
Sankt is not looking at her. Sankt is still bowing and still looking to the ground.
I thought I told you to rise.
Sankt will slowly rise, his mascara streaming down his cheeks, as he has no way of figuring out what is going on right now. But this is the most mixed emotions he's ever felt in his life.
Do you look at her? Do you?
Oh, yeah. As you would an army general.
Make
Basically
sure that
standing
this
at
moment
attention.
doesn't get spoiled. I'm just going to... Oh, wait, Adrie's still in my backpack. I'm just going to put a hand on Adrie to make sure she doesn't fuck up this moment.
Sankt, you make eye contact with her, and when you do, her eyes...
A porcelain mask.
Her eyes go wide. She looks at you as tears kind of start to prickle, start to appear at the ends of her eyes, almost threatening to fall down. She gives you a smile, quickly, has to wipe her face before turning back around and addressing the giant dick at the back of the room.
Sankt will take the porcelain mask off of his hip and place it on his face before turning around to do the same.
Oh, wipe your eyes?
To
Oh, he's
face
just straight
the
up
other
hiding
way.
his face.
I mean, she saw your face already, so...
Yeah, but he was facing away from the thrones.
He's hiding his face from Zeus and the other gods.
And the rest of the party, and everyone else who
Yeah.
didn't see yet.
Okay, but the matron, you did make eye contact with the matron, you saw each other's faces.
Oh, surely.
Okay, I wanted to
Would
make
you like us to have not seen your emotional display, Josh?
I mean, I can't stop you.
the party.
Did we see his emotional display?
I will leave that up to the party and the respect that they want to have for the other player meeting his possibly long dead mother.
I'm not gonna say anything, but I do want to know if I saw.
You can all roll for it.
I was in the backpack.
Yeah, if anything,
I was just
Adrie
chilling in there.
Adrie would have been the one to see because she could have peeked her head out and looked. Yeah. Anyway, but so she turns to face the gods, and now she's. You can all tell that she is pissed. And she turns to him and she says, "How about first, to find out the importance of pulling me away, how about we go back down memory lane and revisit the shit that happened at Blackwood under your goddamn watch?" And with that, she pulls out kind of the same kind of holographic projector crystal that Athena had used. She throws it on the ground in the center of the room. Lights start to go everywhere. Sankt, are you still facing away? Or have you turned to face the rest of the group?
The rest of the group.
Okay. It lights up. It displays an image we see an image of what looks to be a guild tavern. Very tall ceilings, 3 stories to it, right? In the middle of it, you see a what was the yes, in the middle of it you see, or like in the kind of, so it kind of like recreates the what's the word I'm looking for? It's like the holodeck from Star Trek Next Generation.
Recreates the environment?
Yes, it recreates the environment. You see the people, right? But you all are still standing there able to watch.
So we're surrounded by a 3D playback of this event.
Yes. That's what I meant to say. You're surrounded by a 3D playback.
Will not interact with us.
Mm-hmm. You see Athena you see Athena. You see a very heavily armored Greek individual. Like Spartan armor head to toe. You see a silver-haired archer, which Inquiry, you notice her, you recognize her from your vision.
And she looks the way I described her in my note.
Mm-hmm.
To Sankt and Saf.
Yep. And you see the original image that Hermes showed you when you first met him. They're talking, chatting about, right, other guild members are going about their business, right? Then the door opens. And in walks a gelatinous man wearing armor.
I don't wear armor.
Okay, well,
I'm gelatin. I wear a vest and nothing else.
In walks a gelatinous man wearing a vest with various...
This man's Winnie the Poohing it.
He is Winnie the Poohing it.
I do enjoy shirt cocking it.
With various trinkets and weapons scattered about in his body. And the second one to enter is Ashton. What was the description for Adam again?
He was a dragonborn, I believe, a copper dragonborn.
Mm-hmm. And in walks a copper dragonborn with an instrument across his back. And I don't believe we have time to properly... Alright, so I will leave this up to the players. We can call it here, and then next session, Deon and Adam will roleplay this event out as their characters of Gel and Adam. Or I can use next 30 minutes to just describe the events that happens. What would the players prefer?
I would like to act out the...
I would definitely prefer to act
Am I
out
the
my
only one that
demise.
doesn't know what's happening here?
Yes, you
So,
are. It's fantastic.
Yes, you are.
Yes. So...
I'm just gonna keep crying.
Have yourself...
Don't worry, I'm going to be very upset about this with you, Josh.
Bonus action cry.
Bonus action cry.
Wait, is crying a free action?
Yes, crying's a free
Crying's always
action.
a free action.
Yeah, alright, so next session, I believe we'll do 2 weeks, or did we want to do
Joshua
next
will
week?
not be available next week. So
2
we will
weeks it
get
is.
to-
Alrighty, so we will be back in 2 weeks, because we're going to call it there. If you need introductions to Gel and Adam, you could go back and rewatch the Crimson Talons D&D 5 or 6 episode miniseries we did. However, I haven't actually uploaded those to YouTube yet because I'm stupid, and I should. But I'll...
CEO.
I am. My team is no one's on me. No one's on me to get stuff done.
Would you like me to begin harassing you to get your shit together? Because I can and will.
Please, I need someone to, I have projects that I want to do. I've got shit that I want to do. I don't I'm horrible at
All
putting
right,
it in my
Simulator
schedule.
12. I want you to be there as an impartial witness right now. If you are in the chat, confirm that you just heard Evan tell me that he wants me to hound his ass to be a better CEO.
I heard it loud and clear.
You're not Pringlenator.
I am
Oh,
not.
he's resting. Other Josh went to bed.
No, other Josh is back. He was
Oh, what the
'cause
hell?
he did virtual reality playback and lol.
Oh my god.
So if you are there,
Evan lied.
I would like you to confirm that you have heard Evan request that I begin to hound this short bastard.
Alright, well
Well.
if he is not there,
He's probably watching the same ad I am.
oh yeah, it might be
How are
an
we
ad
on
break.
the 30th Call of Duty and they all still look the same?
I don't know. They all still play the same as well. It's dumb. Alright though, but we are going to call it there. We will be back in 2 weeks with what I am now calling the grand epic conclusion of the Crimson Talons podcast being played through the Dunes of Saefham campaign.
Woo!
Woohoo.
I'm gonna do
Let's go!
something terrible.
Yeah, you are. Alright. Thank you to everyone who came out. I apologize for the late start, but we had technical issues that we had to fix out, and that took a long time, a lot longer than I was expecting. But we will be hopefully starting on time at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard in 2 weeks from now, and we will see you all there. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Southwind Data, down at the bottom. Not down at the bottom, but somewhere in the YouTube description, Twitch, go down to the bottom. It's down there. Anywho, we will see you all in 2 weeks. Goodbye, everyone.